Ready to level up your English? In this video, we're exploring powerful verbs, precise adverbs, and expressive idioms that will supercharge your vocabulary. If you can master these, your English will truly be impressive. Let's dive in and add some impact to your vocabulary. Abate. Abate. Meaning, to reduce in degree or intensity. To reduce in degree or intensity. The storm's intensity began to abate after a few hours. The storm's intensity began to abate after a few hours. Abhor. Abhor. Meaning, to regard with disgust and hatred. To regard with disgust and hatred. I abhor the idea of exploiting workers for profit and believe strongly in fair labour practices. I abhor the idea of exploiting workers for profit and believe strongly in fair labour practices. Abolish. Abolish. Meaning, to formally put an end to a system or practice. To formally put an end to a system or practice. The government plans to abolish the outdated law. The government plans to abolish the outdated law. Accede. Accede. Meaning, to agree to a request or demand. To agree to a request or demand. After lengthy discussions, the company agreed to accede to the merger proposal. After lengthy discussions, the company agreed to accede to the merger proposal. Admonish. Admonish. Meaning, to warn or reprimand someone firmly. To warn or reprimand someone firmly. The manager decided to admonish the employee for missing the deadline. The manager decided to admonish the employee for missing the deadline. Aggrandize. Aggrandize. Meaning, to increase the power, status, or wealth of. To increase the power, status, or wealth of. The leader sought to aggrandize his position through grand gestures. The leader sought to aggrandize his position through grand gestures. Alleviate. Alleviate. Meaning, to make pain or suffering less severe. To make pain or suffering less severe. The medication helped alleviate her chronic pain. The medication helped alleviate her chronic pain. Amend. Amend. Meaning, to make changes to a document or law. To make changes to a document or law. The committee agreed to amend the proposed bill. The committee agreed to amend the proposed bill. Annotate. Annotate. Meaning, to add notes or comments to a text. To add notes or comments to a text. The professor asked the students to annotate the assigned readings for better understanding. The professor asked the students to annotate the assigned readings for better understanding. Antagonize. Antagonize, meaning to cause someone to become hostile. To cause someone to become hostile. His sarcastic remarks were likely to antagonize his colleagues. His sarcastic remarks were likely to antagonize his colleagues. Appraise, appraise, meaning to assess the value or quality of. To assess the value or quality of. The expert was called in to appraise the antique furniture for its value. The expert was called in to appraise the antique furniture for its value. Arbitrate, arbitrate, meaning to settle a dispute between parties. To settle a dispute between parties. An impartial mediator was brought in to arbitrate the conflict. An impartial mediator was brought in to arbitrate the conflict. Assimilate, assimilate, meaning to absorb and integrate into a wider society or culture. To absorb and integrate into a wider society or culture. New immigrants often face challenges as they assimilate. New immigrants often face challenges as they assimilate. Augment, augment, meaning to increase or make something greater. To increase or make something greater. He decided to augment his income with a side job. He decided to augment his income with a side job. Bolster, bolster, meaning to support or strengthen. To support or strengthen. The new evidence helped bolster her argument in the debate. The new evidence helped bolster her argument in the debate. Cajole, cajole, meaning to persuade someone to do something through flattery. To persuade someone to do something through flattery. She managed to cajole him into helping with the project. She managed to cajole him into helping with the project. Capitulate, capitulate, meaning to surrender or give in. To surrender or give in. The general had no choice but to capitulate after the prolonged siege. The general had no choice but to capitulate after the prolonged siege. Circumvent, circumvent, meaning to find a way around, an obstacle or restriction. To find a way round, an obstacle or restriction. They found a way to circumvent the new regulations. They found a way to circumvent the new regulations. Coerce, coerce, meaning to persuade someone to do something by using force or threats. To persuade someone to do something by using force or threats. The manager was accused of trying to coerce employees into working overtime. The manager was accused of trying to coerce employees into working overtime. Commiserate, commiserate, meaning to express sympathy or pity. To express sympathy or pity. They gathered to commiserate with their friend after her loss. They gathered to commiserate with their friend after her loss. Concur. Concur. Meaning, to agree with or share the same opinion. To agree with or share the same opinion. The scientists concur on the need for immediate climate action. The scientists concur on the need for immediate climate action. Corroborate. Corroborate. Meaning, to confirm or give support to a statement or theory. To confirm or give support to a statement or theory. The witness's testimony helped corroborate the defendant's alibi. The witness's testimony helped corroborate the defendant's alibi. Defray. Defray. Meaning, to provide money to pay, a cost or expense. To provide money to pay, a cost or expense. The scholarship will help defray the costs of tuition and books. The scholarship will help defray the costs of tuition and books. Defer. Defer. Meaning, to postpone or delay. To postpone or delay. They decided to defer their decision until next month. They decided to defer their decision until next month. Demarcate. Demarcate. Meaning, to set the boundaries or limits of something. To set the boundaries or limits of something. The surveyors used bright orange flags to demarcate the boundary between the two properties. The surveyors used bright orange flags to demarcate the boundary between the two properties. Denounce. Denounce. Meaning, to publicly declare something to be wrong or evil. To publicly declare something to be wrong or evil. The community leaders gathered to denounce the recent acts of vandalism in their neighbourhood. The community leaders gathered to denounce the recent acts of vandalism in their neighbourhood. Delineate. Delineate. Meaning, to describe or portray something precisely. To describe or portray something precisely. The architect used precise lines to delineate the different sections of the building's blueprint. The architect used precise lines to delineate the different sections of the building's blueprint. Deprecate. Deprecate. Meaning, to express disapproval of. To express disapproval of. The teacher would often deprecate the use of slang in formal writing. The teacher would often deprecate the use of slang in formal writing. Disseminate. Disseminate. Meaning, to spread or disperse information widely. To spread or disperse information widely. The organisation worked to disseminate information about the new health guidelines. The organisation worked to disseminate information about the new health guidelines. Dissipate. Dissipate. Meaning, to disperse or scatter. To disperse or scatter. The fog began to dissipate as the sun rose. The fog began to dissipate as the sun rose. Divulge, divulge, meaning to reveal or make known private information. To reveal or make known private information. She refused to divulge the details of her plan. She refused to divulge the details of her plan. Elicit, elicit, meaning to draw out or evoke a response. To draw out or evoke a response. The comedian's joke managed to elicit laughter from the entire audience. The comedian's joke managed to elicit laughter from the entire audience. Emulate, emulate, meaning to match or surpass a person or achievement by imitation. To match or surpass a person or achievement by imitation. He tried to emulate the success of his mentor. He tried to emulate the success of his mentor. Engender, engender, meaning to cause or give rise to. To cause or give rise to. His controversial remarks were sure to engender debate among the panelists. His controversial remarks were sure to engender debate among the panelists. Exacerbate, exacerbate, meaning to make a problem worse. To make a problem worse. His comments only served to exacerbate the situation. His comments only served to exacerbate the situation. Expound, expound, meaning to explain or interpret in detail. To explain or interpret in detail. She used the meeting as an opportunity to expound on her new project proposal. She used the meeting as an opportunity to expound on her new project proposal. Extrapolate, extrapolate, meaning to infer or estimate by extending or projecting known information. To infer or estimate by extending or projecting known information. Based on the initial data, the scientists were able to extrapolate future trends in climate change. Based on the initial data, the scientists were able to extrapolate future trends in climate change. Facilitate, facilitate, meaning to make an action or process easier. To make an action or process easier. The new software will facilitate communication between teams. The new software will facilitate communication between teams. Ferment, ferment, meaning to instigate or stir up an undesirable sentiment or course of action. To instigate or stir up an undesirable sentiment or course of action. His actions were seen as attempts to foment unrest. His actions were seen as attempts to foment unrest. Forbear, forbear, meaning to refrain from doing something. To refrain from doing something. He chose to forbear from commenting on the issue. He chose to forbear from commenting on the issue. Forestall, forestall, meaning to prevent or obstruct by taking action ahead of time. To prevent or obstruct by taking action ahead of time. They took measures to forestall the potential crisis. They took measures to forestall the potential crisis. Garnish, garnish, meaning to decorate or embellish. To decorate or embellish. The chef chose to garnish the dish with fresh herbs and a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese. The chef chose to garnish the dish with fresh herbs and a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese. Harangue, harangue, meaning to deliver a lengthy and aggressive speech. To deliver a lengthy and aggressive speech. The coach began to harangue the team about their lack of effort during practice. The coach began to harangue the team about their lack of effort during practice. Hinder, hinder, meaning to create difficulties for someone or something, resulting in delay or obstruction. To create difficulties for someone or something, resulting in delay or obstruction. The heavy rain began to hinder their progress on the construction site. The heavy rain began to hinder their progress on the construction site. Implore, implore, meaning to beg someone earnestly or desperately to do something. To beg someone earnestly or desperately to do something. I will implore you to reconsider your decision and take more time to evaluate all the options. I will implore you to reconsider your decision and take more time to evaluate all the options. Inhibit, inhibit, meaning to hinder, restrain, or prevent. To hinder, restrain, or prevent. The new regulations could inhibit the company's ability to expand its operations. The new regulations could inhibit the company's ability to expand its operations. Insinuate, insinuate, meaning to suggest or hint something in an indirect and unpleasant way. To suggest or hint something in an indirect and unpleasant way. He tried to insinuate that her promotion was due to favoritism rather than her hard work. He tried to insinuate that her promotion was due to favoritism rather than her hard work. Interpolate, interpolate, meaning to insert something between other parts or things. To insert something between other parts or things. To predict future sales, the analyst used historical data to interpolate missing values. To predict future sales, the analyst used historical data to interpolate missing values. Intervene, intervene, meaning to come between so as to prevent or alter a result. To come between so as to prevent or alter a result. The teacher had to intervene when the students started arguing loudly during the group activity. The teacher had to intervene when the students started arguing loudly during the group activity. Instigate, instigate, meaning to provoke or incite. to provoke or incite. The political activist was accused of trying to instigate unrest among the community. The political activist was accused of trying to instigate unrest among the community. Invalidate. Invalidate. Meaning, to make an argument or statement not valid. To make an argument or statement not valid. The discovery of a key error in the research methodology could invalidate the study's conclusions. The discovery of a key error in the research methodology could invalidate the study's conclusions. Juxtapose. Juxtapose. Meaning, to place side by side for comparison. To place side by side for comparison. The artist chose to juxtapose bright colours with dark shades to create a striking contrast in her painting. The artist chose to juxtapose bright colours with dark shades to create a striking contrast in her painting. Lament. Lament. Meaning, to express grief or sorrow. To express grief or sorrow. She took a moment to lament the end of an era as she packed up her childhood home. She took a moment to lament the end of an era as she packed up her childhood home. Mitigate. Mitigate. Meaning, to make less severe, serious, or painful. To make less severe, serious, or painful. The new policies aim to mitigate the impact of the recession. The new policies aim to mitigate the impact of the recession. Mollify. Mollify. Meaning, to soothe or appease. To soothe or appease. The manager tried to mollify the frustrated customers by offering them discounts and apologies. The manager tried to mollify the frustrated customers by offering them discounts and apologies. Obfuscate. Obfuscate. Meaning, to deliberately make something unclear or difficult to understand. To deliberately make something unclear or difficult to understand. The company used complex jargon and legal terminology to obfuscate the true intentions of their new policy. The company used complex jargon and legal terminology to obfuscate the true intentions of their new policy. Obliterate. Obliterate. Meaning, to destroy utterly or wipe out. To destroy utterly or wipe out. The tornado was so powerful that it seemed to obliterate everything in its path. The tornado was so powerful that it seemed to obliterate everything in its path. Obviate. Obviate. Meaning, to remove a need or difficulty entirely. To remove a need or difficulty entirely. The clear instructions were intended to obviate any confusion about the project's requirements. The clear instructions were intended to obviate any confusion about the project's requirements. Occult. Occult. Meaning, to hide or conceal from view. To hide or conceal from view. The rare celestial event was so mysterious that it seemed to occult the stars from view. The rare celestial event was so mysterious that it seemed to occult the stars from view. Perceive, perceive, meaning to become aware or conscious of something. To become aware or conscious of something. She could perceive a subtle change in his tone, indicating that something was bothering him. She could perceive a subtle change in his tone, indicating that something was bothering him. Perpetuate, perpetuate, meaning to make something continue indefinitely. To make something continue indefinitely. By continuing to spread misinformation, the group sought to perpetuate confusion and doubt. By continuing to spread misinformation, the group sought to perpetuate confusion and doubt. Postulate, postulate, meaning to assume or suggest as a basis for reasoning. To assume or suggest as a basis for reasoning. In the next chapter, the author will postulate a theory about the origins of the universe. In the next chapter, the author will postulate a theory about the origins of the universe. Preclude, preclude, meaning to prevent from happening or make impossible. To prevent from happening or make impossible. The heavy snowfall will preclude any outdoor activities for the rest of the weekend. The heavy snowfall will preclude any outdoor activities for the rest of the weekend. Procrastinate, procrastinate, meaning to delay or postpone action. To delay or postpone action. He tended to procrastinate on his assignments, often leaving them until the last minute. He tended to procrastinate on his assignments, often leaving them until the last minute. Propagate, propagate, meaning to spread or promote an idea, theory, etc. widely. To spread or promote an idea, theory, etc. widely. The campaign sought to propagate environmental awareness. The campaign sought to propagate environmental awareness. Propound, propound, meaning to put forward or propose an idea or theory. To put forward or propose an idea or theory. The professor will propound a new theory on the origins of human behavior during the lecture. The professor will propound a new theory on the origins of human behavior during the lecture. Rebut, rebut, meaning to refute or contradict. To refute or contradict. She provided evidence to rebut the claims made by the opposing party. She provided evidence to rebut the claims made by the opposing party. Reconcile, reconcile, meaning to restore friendly relations between. To make consistent. To restore friendly relations between. To make consistent. They worked to reconcile their differences. They worked to reconcile their differences. Recapitulate, recapitulate, meaning to summarize or state again the main points. To summarize or state again the main points. I need to recapitulate the key points from our discussion to ensure we're all aligned. I need to recapitulate the key points from our discussion to ensure we're all aligned. Rectify, Rectify, meaning to correct or make right. To correct or make right. The company took steps to rectify the issue. The company took steps to rectify the issue. Relegate, relegate, meaning to assign to an inferior position. To assign to an inferior position. The coach decided to relegate the struggling player to the junior league for more practice. The coach decided to relegate the struggling player to the junior league for more practice. Repudiate, repudiate, meaning to reject or deny the validity of something. To reject or deny the validity of something. She chose to repudiate the contract after discovering the terms were not as initially agreed. She chose to repudiate the contract after discovering the terms were not as initially agreed. Rescind, rescind, meaning to revoke or cancel. To revoke or cancel. The company decided to rescind the new policy. The company decided to rescind the new policy. Revere, revere, meaning to regard with deep respect or admiration. To regard with deep respect or admiration. Many people revere the author for his profound impact on modern literature. Many people revere the author for his profound impact on modern literature. Sanction, sanction, meaning to give official permission or approval. To give official permission or approval. The committee decided to sanction the new policy after a thorough review and discussion. The committee decided to sanction the new policy after a thorough review and discussion. Subdue, subdue, meaning to overcome or bring under control. To overcome or bring under control. The police were able to subdue the crowd and restore order at the protest. The police were able to subdue the crowd and restore order at the protest. Substantiate, substantiate, meaning to provide evidence to support or prove the truth of. To provide evidence to support or prove the truth of. She was able to substantiate her claims with documentation. She was able to substantiate her claims with documentation. Supplement, supplement, meaning to add to or enhance something. To add to or enhance something. She decided to supplement her income by taking on a part-time job. She decided to supplement her income by taking on a part-time job. Surmount, surmount, meaning to overcome a difficulty or obstacle. To overcome a difficulty or obstacle. The team worked tirelessly to surmount the obstacles in their path and achieve their goal. The team worked tirelessly to surmount the obstacles in their path and achieve their goal. Synthesize, synthesize, meaning to combine various elements into a coherent whole. To combine various elements into a coherent whole. I need to synthesize all the research findings before writing the final report. I need to synthesize all the research findings before writing the final report. Theorize. Theorize. Meaning, to form a theory or set of theories about something. To form a theory or set of theories about something. Scientists theorize about the origins of the universe. Scientists theorize about the origins of the universe. Transcend. Transcend. Meaning, to go beyond or rise above. To go beyond or rise above. I want to transcend my current limitations and achieve new personal growth. I want to transcend my current limitations and achieve new personal growth. Traverse. Traverse. Meaning, to travel across or through. To travel across or through. We need to traverse the rugged terrain to reach the remote village. We need to traverse the rugged terrain to reach the remote village. Undermine. Undermine. Meaning, to weaken or damage gradually or covertly. To weaken or damage gradually or covertly. His constant criticism began to undermine her confidence in her abilities. His constant criticism began to undermine her confidence in her abilities. Validate. Validate. Meaning, to confirm the validity or accuracy of something. To confirm the validity or accuracy of something. The scientist conducted additional experiments to validate the initial findings of the study. The scientist conducted additional experiments to validate the initial findings of the study. Venerate. Venerate. Meaning, to regard with great respect or reverence. To regard with great respect or reverence. The community gathers annually to venerate the founder of their town with a special ceremony. The community gathers annually to venerate the founder of their town with a special ceremony. Verbalize. Verbalize. Meaning, to express in words. To express in words. He struggled to verbalize his feelings. He struggled to verbalize his feelings. Vindicate. Vindicate. Meaning, to clear someone of blame or suspicion. To clear someone of blame or suspicion. The new evidence helped to vindicate the accused, proving that they were not guilty of the charges. The new evidence helped to vindicate the accused, proving that they were not guilty of the charges. Vitiate. Vitiate. Meaning, to spoil or impair the quality of. To spoil or impair the quality of. The flawed data could vitiate the results of the experiment. The flawed data could vitiate the results of the experiment. Warrant. Warrant. Meaning, to justify or necessitate a course of action. To justify or necessitate a course of action. Her exceptional performance did not warrant the criticism she received. Her exceptional performance did not warrant the criticism she received. Yield. Yield. Meaning, to produce or provide. To give way under pressure. To produce or provide. To give way under pressure. The experiment's results did not yield the expected outcome. The experiment's results did not yield the expected outcome. Abjectly. Abjectly. Meaning, in a hopeless, resigned, or miserable manner. In a hopeless, resigned, or miserable manner. She abjectly accepted the unfair decision. She abjectly accepted the unfair decision. Acutely. Acutely. Meaning, intensely or sharply. Intensely or sharply. He was acutely aware of the silence in the room. He was acutely aware of the silence in the room. Adroitly. Adroitly. Meaning, in a skillful or clever manner. In a skillful or clever manner. She adroitly navigated through the complex negotiation. She adroitly navigated through the complex negotiation. Altruistically. Altruistically. Meaning, in a selfless, generous manner. In a selfless, generous manner. He altruistically donated a large sum to the charity. He altruistically donated a large sum to the charity. Amicably. Amicably. Meaning, in a friendly or peaceful manner. In a friendly or peaceful manner. The dispute was amicably resolved. The dispute was amicably resolved. Assiduously. Assiduously. Meaning, with great care and perseverance. With great care and perseverance. She assiduously worked on her thesis for months. She assiduously worked on her thesis for months. Astonishingly. Astonishingly. Meaning, in a way that causes surprise or wonder. In a way that causes surprise or wonder. Astonishingly, the little boy solved the puzzle in minutes. Astonishingly, the little boy solved the puzzle in minutes. Astutely. Astutely. Meaning, in a shrewd or perceptive manner. In a shrewd or perceptive manner. He astutely observed the subtle changes in her behaviour. He astutely observed the subtle changes in her behaviour. Audaciously. Audaciously. Meaning, boldly or daringly. Boldly or daringly. She audaciously challenged the outdated rules. She audaciously challenged the outdated rules. Avidly. Avidly. Meaning, with great enthusiasm or interest. With great enthusiasm or interest. He avidly read every book he could find on the subject. He avidly read every book he could find on the subject. Blatantly. Blatantly. Meaning, in an open and unashamed manner. In an open and unashamed manner. He blatantly ignored the company's safety protocols. He blatantly ignored the company's safety protocols. Brusquely. Brusquely. Meaning, in a blunt or curt manner. In a blunt or curt manner. She brusquely dismissed his concerns. She brusquely dismissed his concerns. Candidly. Candidly. Meaning, in an open and honest manner. In an open and honest manner. He candidly shared his thoughts on the project. He candidly shared his thoughts on the project. Capriciously, capriciously, meaning in a sudden and unpredictable manner. In a sudden and unpredictable manner. The weather changed capriciously throughout the day. The weather changed capriciously throughout the day. Circumspectly, circumspectly, meaning in a cautious or prudent manner. In a cautious or prudent manner. She circumspectly considered all her options. She circumspectly considered all her options. Covertly, covertly, meaning in a secretive or hidden manner. In a secretive or hidden manner. The information was covertly passed to the spy. The information was covertly passed to the spy. Curtly, curtly, meaning in a rudely brief manner. In a rudely brief manner. He answered her questions curtly, showing his impatience. He answered her questions curtly, showing his impatience. Deftly, deftly, meaning in a skillful and quick manner. In a skillful and quick manner. She deftly avoided the awkward question. She deftly avoided the awkward question. Deliberately, deliberately, meaning intentionally or on purpose. Intentionally or on purpose. He deliberately misled them about the project's status. He deliberately misled them about the project's status. Derisively, derisively, meaning in a mocking or scornful manner. In a mocking or scornful manner. She laughed derisively at his suggestion. She laughed derisively at his suggestion. Diligently, diligently, meaning with careful and persistent effort. With careful and persistent effort. He diligently prepared for his final exams. He diligently prepared for his final exams. Disparagingly, disparagingly, meaning in a belittling or degrading manner. In a belittling or degrading manner. She spoke disparagingly of their efforts. She spoke disparagingly of their efforts. Doggedly, doggedly, meaning with stubborn determination. With stubborn determination. He doggedly pursued his goal despite many setbacks. He doggedly pursued his goal despite many setbacks. Ebulliently, ebulliently, meaning in a cheerful and energetic manner. In a cheerful and energetic manner. She greeted everyone ebulliently at the party. She greeted everyone ebulliently at the party. Eloquently, eloquently, meaning in a fluent or persuasive manner. In a fluent or persuasive manner. He eloquently expressed his ideas during the debate. He eloquently expressed his ideas during the debate. Emphatically, emphatically, meaning in a forceful or assertive manner. In a forceful or assertive manner. She emphatically denied the allegations. She emphatically denied the allegations. Ephemerally, ephemerally, meaning in a short-lived manner, in a short-lived manner. The beauty of the sunset was ephemerally breathtaking. The beauty of the sunset was ephemerally breathtaking. Eruditely, eruditely, meaning in a knowledgeable or scholarly manner, in a knowledgeable or scholarly manner. He spoke eruditely about the history of the ancient civilization. He spoke eruditely about the history of the ancient civilization. Exasperatingly, exasperatingly, meaning in an annoying or frustrating manner, in an annoying or frustrating manner. She exasperatingly repeated the same mistake. She exasperatingly repeated the same mistake. Fervently, fervently, meaning with intense passion or enthusiasm, with intense passion or enthusiasm. He fervently advocated for environmental protection. He fervently advocated for environmental protection. Flamboyantly, flamboyantly, meaning in a confident and showy manner, in a confident and showy manner. She dressed flamboyantly for the gala event. She dressed flamboyantly for the gala event. Fortuitously, fortuitously, meaning by chance or accident, by chance or accident. Fortuitously, they found the missing document just in time. Fortuitously, they found the missing document just in time. Frugally, frugally, meaning in a sparing or economical manner, in a sparing or economical manner. They lived frugally to save money for their trip. They lived frugally to save money for their trip. Furtively, furtively, meaning in a secretive or stealthy manner, in a secretive or stealthy manner. He furtively glanced at his watch during the meeting. He furtively glanced at his watch during the meeting. Garrulously, garrulously, meaning in a talkative or rambling manner, in a talkative or rambling manner. She garrulously recounted every detail of her day. She garrulously recounted every detail of her day. Haphazardly, haphazardly, meaning in a random or disorganized manner, in a random or disorganized manner. The papers were haphazardly strewn across the desk. The papers were haphazardly strewn across the desk. Haughtily, haughtily, meaning in an arrogantly superior manner, in an arrogantly superior manner. She looked down haughtily at the other contestants. She looked down haughtily at the other contestants. Idiosyncratically, idiosyncratically, meaning in a unique or peculiar manner, in a unique or peculiar manner. He idiosyncratically arranged his books by colour. He idiosyncratically arranged his books by colour. Impartially, impartially, meaning in a fair and unbiased manner. In a fair and unbiased manner. The judge impartially considered both sides of the argument. The judge impartially considered both sides of the argument. Imperiously. Imperiously. Meaning, in a domineering or overbearing manner. In a domineering or overbearing manner. He imperiously demanded an immediate answer. He imperiously demanded an immediate answer. Inadvertently. Inadvertently. Meaning, without intention, accidentally. Without intention, accidentally. She inadvertently left her keys in the car. She inadvertently left her keys in the car. Incessantly. Incessantly. Meaning, without stopping, constantly. Without stopping, constantly. The baby cried incessantly throughout the night. The baby cried incessantly throughout the night. Incisively. Incisively. Meaning, in a clear and direct manner. In a clear and direct manner. He incisively analysed the complex issue. He incisively analysed the complex issue. Indefatigably. Indefatigably. Meaning, with tireless persistence. With tireless persistence. She worked indefatigably to complete the project on time. She worked indefatigably to complete the project on time. Inevitably. Inevitably. Meaning, as is certain to happen. As is certain to happen. Inevitably, the storm caused major delays. Inevitably, the storm caused major delays. Insidiously. Insidiously. Meaning, in a subtle and harmful manner. In a subtle and harmful manner. The disease spread insidiously through the population. The disease spread insidiously through the population. Judiciously. Judiciously. Meaning, with good judgment or sense. With good judgment or sense. He judiciously invested his money in diverse assets. He judiciously invested his money in diverse assets. Laboriously. Laboriously. Meaning, with considerable effort and time. With considerable effort and time. She laboriously edited the lengthy manuscript. She laboriously edited the lengthy manuscript. Languidly. Languidly. Meaning, in a relaxed or leisurely manner. In a relaxed or leisurely manner. They lounged languidly by the pool. They lounged languidly by the pool. Meticulously. Meticulously. Meaning, with great attention to detail. With great attention to detail. She meticulously planned every aspect of the wedding. She meticulously planned every aspect of the wedding. Nonchalantly. Nonchalantly. Meaning, in a casually calm manner. In a casually calm manner. He nonchalantly shrugged off the criticism. He nonchalantly shrugged off the criticism. Obsequiously. Obsequiously. Meaning, in an overly submissive manner. in an overly submissive manner. He obsequiously agreed with everything the boss said. He obsequiously agreed with everything the boss said. Ostensibly, ostensibly, meaning apparently or purportedly, apparently or purportedly. He ostensibly attended the meeting to support the team. He ostensibly attended the meeting to support the team. Perceptively, perceptively, meaning with keen insight or understanding, with keen insight or understanding. She perceptively identified the root of the problem. She perceptively identified the root of the problem. Perfunctory, perfunctory, meaning in a mechanical or uninterested manner, in a mechanical or uninterested manner. He perfunctorily completed the routine tasks. He perfunctorily completed the routine tasks. Perpetually, perpetually, meaning continually or repeatedly, continually or repeatedly. She was perpetually late for appointments. She was perpetually late for appointments. Perniciously, perniciously, meaning in a harmful or destructive manner, in a harmful or destructive manner. The rumour spread perniciously through the community. The rumour spread perniciously through the community. Precipitously, precipitously, meaning very steeply or suddenly, very steeply or suddenly. The stock prices fell precipitously after the scandal. The stock prices fell precipitously after the scandal. Proficiently, proficiently, meaning in a competent or skilled manner, in a competent or skilled manner. He proficiently managed the entire project. He proficiently managed the entire project. Surreptitiously, surreptitiously, meaning in a secret or stealthy manner, in a secret or stealthy manner. She surreptitiously checked her phone during the meeting. She surreptitiously checked her phone during the meeting. Sardonically, sardonically, meaning in a sarcastic or mocking manner, in a sarcastic or mocking manner. He sardonically remarked on the poor turnout at the event. He sardonically remarked on the poor turnout at the event. Scrupulously, scrupulously, meaning with great attention to detail and moral integrity. With great attention to detail and moral integrity. She scrupulously followed the guidelines for the experiment. She scrupulously followed the guidelines for the experiment. Sedulously, sedulously, meaning with diligent and persistent effort, with diligent and persistent effort. He sedulously studied for his exams every night. He sedulously studied for his exams every night. Skeptically, skeptically, meaning in a doubting or questioning manner, in a doubting or questioning manner. She skeptically raised an eyebrow at his explanation. She skeptically raised an eyebrow at his explanation. Solicitously, solicitously, meaning with concern or care, with concern or care. He solicitously asked if she needed any help. He solicitously asked if she needed any help. Speciously, speciously, meaning in a misleadingly attractive manner, in a misleadingly attractive manner. The argument was speciously convincing, but ultimately flawed. The argument was speciously convincing, but ultimately flawed. Staunchly, staunchly, meaning with firm loyalty or steadfastness, with firm loyalty or steadfastness. She staunchly defended her friend against the accusations. She staunchly defended her friend against the accusations. Substantially, substantially, meaning to a great or significant extent, to a great or significant extent. His income increased substantially after the promotion. His income increased substantially after the promotion. Succinctly, succinctly, meaning in a brief and clearly expressed manner, in a brief and clearly expressed manner. She succinctly summarized the main points of the discussion. She succinctly summarized the main points of the discussion. Surprisingly, surprisingly, meaning in an unexpected manner, in an unexpected manner. Surprisingly, he agreed with the radical proposal. Surprisingly, he agreed with the radical proposal. Tactfully, tactfully, meaning with sensitivity and skill in dealing with others, with sensitivity and skill in dealing with others. She tactfully addressed the delicate issue with her team. She tactfully addressed the delicate issue with her team. Tenaciously, tenaciously, meaning with persistent determination, with persistent determination. He tenaciously pursued his goal despite many obstacles. He tenaciously pursued his goal despite many obstacles. Thematically, thematically, meaning in a way that relates to a particular theme, in a way that relates to a particular theme. The novel is thematically rich, exploring love and loss. The novel is thematically rich, exploring love and loss. Unabashedly, unabashedly, meaning without embarrassment or shame, without embarrassment or shame. He unabashedly declared his love for her in front of everyone. He unabashedly declared his love for her in front of everyone. Vehemently, vehemently, meaning with intense emotion or force, with intense emotion or force. She vehemently denied any involvement in the scandal. She vehemently denied any involvement in the scandal. A tough nut to crack. A tough nut to crack. Meaning a difficult problem or a person who is difficult to deal with. A difficult problem or a person who is difficult to deal with. The mystery of the missing files is a tough nut to crack. The mystery of the missing files is a tough nut to crack. Achilles heel. Achilles heel. Meaning, a weak or vulnerable point. A weak or vulnerable point. Despite his strength, arrogance was his Achilles heel. Despite his strength, arrogance was his Achilles heel. Against the grain. Against the grain. Meaning, contrary to what is expected or normal. Contrary to what is expected or normal. It goes against the grain to lie to my friends. It goes against the grain to lie to my friends. All bark and no bite. All bark and no bite. Meaning, someone who talks tough but doesn't act on their words. Someone who talks tough but doesn't act on their words. He threatens to fire people, but he's all bark and no bite. He threatens to fire people, but he's all bark and no bite. At the drop of a hat. At the drop of a hat. Meaning, immediately, without hesitation. Immediately, without hesitation. She would leave her job at the drop of a hat if she had a better offer. She would leave her job at the drop of a hat if she had a better offer. At the 11th hour. At the 11th hour. Meaning, at the last possible moment. At the last possible moment. They reached an agreement at the 11th hour before the deadline. They reached an agreement at the 11th hour before the deadline. Barking up the wrong tree. Barking up the wrong tree. Meaning, to pursue a mistaken or misguided course of action. To pursue a mistaken or misguided course of action. If you think I can help with the project, you're barking up the wrong tree. If you think I can help with the project, you're barking up the wrong tree. Batten down the hatches. Batten down the hatches. Meaning, prepare for trouble. Prepare for trouble. The company had to batten down the hatches during the economic crisis. The company had to batten down the hatches during the economic crisis. Bite the hand that feeds you. Bite the hand that feeds you. Meaning, to turn against someone who has helped you. To turn against someone who has helped you. I'm trying to help you. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. I'm trying to help you. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Break the ice. Break the ice. Meaning, to initiate conversation in a social setting. To initiate conversation in a social setting. Her joke helped break the ice at the meeting. Her joke helped break the ice at the meeting. Burn the candle at both ends. Burn the candle at both ends. Meaning, to overextend oneself by doing too many things, especially by staying up late and getting up early, leading to exhaustion. To overextend oneself by doing too many things, especially by staying up late and getting up early, leading to exhaustion. If you keep working late and getting up early, you will burn the candles at both ends and eventually burn out. If you keep working late and getting up early, you will burn the candle at both ends and eventually burn out. Burn your bridges. Burn your bridges. Meaning, to destroy one's path, connections, or opportunities, often intentionally. To destroy one's path, connections, or opportunities, often intentionally. Be careful not to burn your bridges with former colleagues. Be careful not to burn your bridges with former colleagues. By the skin of your teeth. By the skin of your teeth. Meaning, barely or narrowly. Barely or narrowly. You just finished the exam by the skin of your teeth, narrowly passing the test. You just finished the exam by the skin of your teeth, narrowly passing the test. Call a spade a spade. Call a spade a spade. Meaning, to speak frankly and directly about a situation. To speak frankly and directly about a situation. We need to call a spade and admit our project failed. We need to call a spade and admit our project failed. Call it a day. Call it a day. Meaning, stop working on something. Stop working on something. After fixing the car, we decided to call it a day. After fixing the car, we decided to call it a day. Cat's out of the bag. Cat's out of the bag. Meaning, a secret has been revealed. A secret has been revealed. The cat's out of the bag about the surprise party. The cat's out of the bag about the surprise party. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Meaning, faced with two difficult choices. Faced with two difficult choices. She was caught between a rock and a hard place, unsure whether to stay or move. She was caught between a rock and a hard place, unsure whether to stay or move. Chew the fat. Chew the fat. Meaning, to chat in a leisurely manner. To chat in a leisurely manner. After the meeting, we stayed in the break room to chew the fat and catch up on each other's lives. After the meeting, we stayed in the break room to chew the fat and catch up on each other's lives. Clam up. Clam up. Meaning, to suddenly stop talking. To suddenly stop talking. Don't clam up just when the story is getting interesting. Don't clam up just when the story is getting interesting. Cold turkey. Cold turkey. Meaning, to quit something abruptly. To quit something abruptly. She gave up sugar cold turkey, stopping all at once without easing off. She gave up sugar cold turkey, stopping all at once without easing off. Cook the books. Cook the books. Meaning, to alter financial records dishonestly. To alter financial records dishonestly. The accountant was fired for trying to cook the books and falsify the company's financial statements. The accountant was fired for trying to cook the books and falsify the company's financial statements. Crocodile tears. Crocodile tears. Meaning, fake tears or insincere displays of emotion. Fake tears or insincere displays of emotion. Don't be fooled by her crocodile tears. She isn't really upset. Don't be fooled by her crocodile tears. She isn't really upset. Cry over spilt milk. Cry over spilt milk. Meaning, to lament something that cannot be undone. To lament something that cannot be undone. We missed the deadline, but don't cry over spilt milk. Let's work on the next project. We missed the deadline, but don't cry over spilt milk. Let's work on the next project. Curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity killed the cat. Meaning, inquisitive behaviour can lead to trouble. Inquisitive behaviour can lead to trouble. Be careful what you ask. Curiosity killed the cat. Be careful what you ask. Curiosity killed the cat. Cut the mustard. Cut the mustard. Meaning, to meet expectations or standards. To meet expectations or standards. The new employee didn't cut the mustard and was let go. The new employee didn't cut the mustard and was let go. Cut to the chase. Cut to the chase. Meaning, get to the point. Get to the point. Let's cut to the chase and discuss the main issue. Let's cut to the chase and discuss the main issue. Dark horse. Dark horse. Meaning, a candidate or competitor about whom little is known but who unexpectedly wins or succeeds. A candidate or competitor about whom little is known but who unexpectedly wins or succeeds. The dark horse in the race ended up winning. The dark horse in the race ended up winning. Dead ringer. Dead ringer. Meaning, an exact duplicate. An exact duplicate. That man is a dead ringer for my uncle. That man is a dead ringer for my uncle. Devil's advocate. Devil's advocate. Meaning, someone who argues against a point for the sake of debate. Someone who argues against a point for the sake of debate. I'll play devil's advocate to test the strength of your argument. I'll play devil's advocate to test the strength of your argument. Devils in the details. Devils in the details. Meaning, small, specific details can cause major problems. Small, specific details can cause major problems. The plan seems simple, but the devil's in the details. The plan seems simple, but the devil's in the details. Draw a blank. Draw a blank. Meaning, to fail to recall or find something. To fail to recall or find something. Every time I try to recall her name, I draw a blank. Every time I try to recall her name, I draw a blank. Drop in the bucket. Drop in the bucket. Meaning, a very small part of something big or whole. A very small part of something big or whole. The donation was a drop in the bucket compared to what we needed. The donation was a drop in the bucket compared to what we needed. Dutch courage. Dutch courage. Meaning, courage gained from drinking alcohol. Courage gained from drinking alcohol. He needed some Dutch courage before asking her out. He needed some Dutch courage before asking her out. Elephant in the room. Elephant in the room. Meaning, an obvious problem that no one wants to discuss. An obvious problem that no one wants to discuss. We need to address the elephant in the room and talk about the budget cuts. We need to address the elephant in the room and talk about the budget cuts. Faint of heart. Faint of heart. Meaning, lacking the courage to face something difficult. Lacking the courage to face something difficult. This horror movie is not for the faint of heart. This horror movie is not for the faint of heart. Flash in the pan. Flash in the pan. Meaning, something or someone that initially shows promise but fails to deliver. Something or someone that initially shows promise but fails to deliver. His initial success was just a flash in the pan, and he struggled to maintain his popularity afterwards. His initial success was just a flash in the pan, and he struggled to maintain his popularity afterwards. Feather in your cap. Feather in your cap. Meaning, an achievement to be proud of. An achievement to be proud of. Completing the marathon is a real feather in your cap. Completing the marathon is a real feather in your cap. Flog a dead horse. Flog a dead horse. Meaning, to waste time trying to do something that won't succeed. To waste time trying to do something that won't succeed. We can't flog a dead horse. The project is cancelled and there's no point in discussing it further. We can't flog a dead horse. The project is cancelled and there's no point in discussing it further. Fly by the seat of your pants. Fly by the seat of your pants. Meaning, to do something without planning or preparation. To do something without planning or preparation. We had no instructions, so we had to fly by the seat of our pants. We had no instructions, so we had to fly by the seat of our pants. Fly off the handle. Fly off the handle. Meaning, to lose one's temper suddenly. To lose one's temper suddenly. Try to stay calm during the meeting and don't fly off the handle if things don't go as planned. Try to stay calm during the meeting and don't fly off the handle if things don't go as planned. Fool's errand. Fool's errand. Meaning, a pointless task. A pointless task. Trying to fix that old car is a fool's errand. Trying to fix that old car is a fool's errand. Full of beans. Full of beans. Meaning, energetic and lively. Energetic and lively. The children were full of beans after the party. The children were full of beans after the party. Get a second wind. Get a second wind. Meaning, to regain energy after being tired. To regain energy after being tired. After a quick break, I managed to get a second wind and finished the marathon strong. After a quick break, I managed to get a second wind and finished the marathon strong. Get down to brass tacks. Get down to brass tacks. Meaning, focus on the essential details. Focus on the essential details. Let's get down to brass tacks and discuss the budget. Let's get down to brass tacks and discuss the budget. Get your feet wet. Get your feet wet. Meaning, to start something new. To start something new. Starting with a small project is a great way to get your feet wet before tackling bigger challenges. Starting with a small project is a great way to get your feet wet before tackling bigger challenges. Go against the grain. Go against the grain. Meaning, to go against what is normal or expected. To go against what is normal or expected. Her ideas often go against the grain, but they are effective. Her ideas often go against the grain, but they are effective. Go down in flames. Go down in flames. Meaning, fail spectacularly. Fail spectacularly. Make sure you review the plan carefully so the project doesn't go down in flames. Make sure you review the plan carefully so the project doesn't go down in flames. Go out on a limb. Go out on a limb. Meaning, to take a risk. To take a risk. To suggest such an innovative idea, you'll have to go out on a limb and take a risk. To suggest such an innovative idea, you'll have to go out on a limb and take a risk. Have an axe to grind. Have an axe to grind. Meaning, to have a personal or selfish motive. To have a personal or selfish motive. I have an axe to grind with the company over their recent decision to cut benefits. I have an axe to grind with the company over their recent decision to cut benefits. Head in the clouds. Head in the clouds. Meaning, to be daydreaming and not paying attention. To be daydreaming and not paying attention. She always has her head in the clouds during meetings. She always has her head in the clouds during meetings. Hit below the belt. Hit below the belt. Meaning, to act unfairly. To act unfairly. During the debate, he hit below the belt with a personal attack that had nothing to do with the topic at hand. During the debate, he hit below the belt with a personal attack that had nothing to do with the topic at hand. Hit the nail on the head. Hit the nail on the head. Meaning, to be exactly right about something. To be exactly right about something. You hit the nail on the head with your analysis of the problem. You hit the nail on the head with your analysis of the problem. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Meaning, wait a moment. Wait a moment. Hold your horses. We haven't finished yet. Hold your horses. We haven't finished yet. In a pickle. In a pickle. Meaning, in a difficult situation. In a difficult situation. I'm in a pickle because I lost my keys and can't get home. I'm in a pickle because I lost my keys and can't get home. In hot water. In hot water. Meaning, in trouble. In trouble. She got in hot water for missing the deadline. She got in hot water for missing the deadline. Jump the gun. Jump the gun. Meaning, to start something too early. To start something too early. We shouldn't jump the gun and start celebrating until the results are officially announced. We shouldn't jump the gun and start celebrating until the results are officially announced. Keep it under wraps. Keep it under wraps. Meaning, keep something secret. Keep something secret. If you've got a bad temper, you probably do your utmost to keep it under wraps. If you've got a bad temper, you probably do your utmost to keep it under wraps. Kick the bucket. Kick the bucket. Meaning, to die. To die. The doctor assured him that with proper treatment, he wouldn't kick the bucket anytime soon. The doctor assured him that with proper treatment, he wouldn't kick the bucket anytime soon. Know the ropes. Know the ropes. Meaning, be familiar with the details of something. Be familiar with the details of something. After a few weeks, you'll know the ropes around here. After a few weeks, you'll know the ropes around here. Last straw. Last straw. Meaning, the final problem in a series of problems. The final problem in a series of problems. His rude comment was the last straw, and she quit. His rude comment was the last straw, and she quit. Let sleeping dogs lie. Let sleeping dogs lie. Meaning, don't disturb a situation as it is. Don't disturb a situation as it is. We decided to let sleeping dogs lie and not bring up the old argument. We decided to let sleeping dogs lie and not bring up the old argument. Loose cannon. Loose cannon. Meaning, an unpredictable person who may cause damage. An unpredictable person who may cause damage. He's a loose cannon and often causes trouble. He's a loose cannon and often causes trouble. Make a mountain out of a molehill. Make a mountain out of a molehill. Meaning, to exaggerate a minor problem. To exaggerate a minor problem. She tends to make a mountain out of a molehill over small issues. She tends to make a mountain out of a molehill over small issues. Method to the madness. Method to the madness. Meaning, there's a reason for someone's strange behaviour. There's a reason for someone's strange behaviour. At first, the team's chaotic approach seemed unorganised, but it turned out there was a method to the madness. At first, the team's chaotic approach seemed unorganised, but it turned out there was a method to the madness. Off the beaten path. Off the beaten path. Meaning, unusual, not well known. Unusual, not well known. We found a great restaurant that's off the beaten path. We found a great restaurant that's off the beaten path. On the fence. On the fence. Meaning, undecided. Undecided. He's still on the fence about which job to take. He's still on the fence about which job to take. Once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon. Meaning, very rarely. Very rarely. He visits his hometown once in a blue moon. He visits his hometown once in a blue moon. Open a can of worms. Open a can of worms. meaning to create a complicated situation. To create a complicated situation. Discussing politics can open a can of worms at family gatherings. Discussing politics can open a can of worms at family gatherings. The ball is in your court. The ball is in your court. Meaning, it's your decision or responsibility. It's your decision or responsibility. I've done all I can. Now the ball is in your court. I've done all I can. Now the ball is in your court. Skeleton in the closet. Skeleton in the closet. Meaning, a hidden secret or past scandal. A hidden secret or past scandal. Everyone has a skeleton in the closet, but some are more damaging than others. Everyone has a skeleton in the closet, but some are more damaging than others.